All right, let's.
Like a later Nintendo Direct that's happening, huh? Like, usually, aren't they usually in the morning? Like really, really early?
Yeah.
Usually.
Here, let's hop over. Let's say hello to our friends that are watching us on Twitch.
Hello, friends on Twitch. Roughly 50 minutes of information focused on available games like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and games coming to Nintendo Switch in the first half of 2021, for which we are already 1.5 months through.
That's
Thank
right,
you,
friends. That is correct. Yeah, so I'll say hello to everyone here. Make this official. Where do I have this? Yeah, let's do this. Let's do the hoodie gang.
We're my notification gang. We're my hoodie gang. Notification hoodie gang.
What is that?
There you go.
Great. It's good. That's what's happening. Where's your hoodie?
I
Yeah,
didn't get the
loser.
memo.
Yeah, loser. Where's your hoodie? We're definitely not the losers with our
Mine's the same color as the Unibombers.
That was by design.
Yeah. I asked them, can I get the one that's like the same color as the Unibomber?
Oh, you've got that in Unibomber gray. Wonderful.
They're like, excuse me, sir? Oh, nothing. I was just talking out loud.
Huh? Me? No, that wasn't me. What? Shut up.
Sir, there's no one there. Welcome to the Joystick Scan of the Games cast, which we haven't done in 3 weeks because people have lives. Well, most of us do, and kids and issues and COVID, and I'm just going to ramble on. It's Tuesday, February 16th. I am your glorious, unshaven host, Dan John, and I'm joined by Richard Marginson and Michael Black.
Welcome back, Bucket.
Yeah, welcome back, Bucket. Yeah, I didn't want to get too crazy today, but I wanted to chat about this fancy-looking Nintendo Direct that's happening tomorrow. Y'all heard about this?
You think this one's a bigger deal than the previous ones?
Yes, very much so. I don't
Tell me why, Dan. Why do you think?
So would you like me to enlighten you guys?
Perhaps you could
even though
stare
you've already
into the
written this?
future
Yeah.
in a way. No, I have no idea what's happening with this Nintendo Direct. So
I don't think
legitimately
there's some like pretty strong expectations, I think, from it, and some quite, I don't know, supported rumors. So it's gonna be roughly 50 minutes of information focused on games, available games and games coming out. I'm like, I'm not so interested in the available games because that's likely just gonna be more Smash Brothers characters, which, fine, whatever. If you like those games, that's cool. But I'm way more interested in the stuff that's going to be announced.
Just like everybody else is watching it.
Well, that's the thing. Like I don't know. I think the one game that's like it's definitely going to be announced or shown off or teased or something is going to be the Breath of the Wild 2.
That would be earth-shaking.
Yeah. Like everyone's been saying. It's because like the first one was like it was a launch title, right, for Switch. Like, was it 4 years ago almost?
Well, we found out this week, or at least Dan did, that it was also on Wii U, and some of us poor slobs bought it on the Wii U.
Hey,
wait,
it was
you
the same,
you
same
actually
game,
bought it
though.
on Wii U?
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
wow.
lower resolution, really.
Yeah, it's the same game.
That's okay. But yeah, so it was 4 years ago. Came out 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I remember
almost
where
to
I
the
was
date.
exactly.
Almost to the date, March 3rd. March 3rd, 4 years ago. So like, if they at least announced it this year for like next year, I'd be like, okay, there you go. If they don't even hint at Breath of the Wild 2, I'll be absolutely shocked.
Yeah, I mean it's been a long time since we've heard anything about the game, right? I mean, the last time we heard something about it was at least a year ago, if not longer.
Yeah, and it was just a teaser. Like there was absolutely nothing shown, right?
Yeah, it was. I think it was a Nintendo E3, which means it wouldn't have been last year. It would have been the year before, so over a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the earliest, maybe it was the year before that. I don't remember. Probably it was that 2019 one. Do you guys remember 2019? Remember what that was like?
No.
2019.
No.
It was weird.
I
Whole
don't remember.
other lifetime ago.
Yeah, you could go and buy a video game places and play them with friends.
You could go,
Anyway,
you could go outside.
Yeah, that's a big one. I'm wondering if we're finally going to hear about the Metroid game
Yeah.
that was also announced with simply Metroid coming across the screen. I think was even announced as or from Nintendo as being like reworked and scrapped by the team that was working on it.
Yeah.
And then, so just hearing a little bit more about that game or where that currently stands or sits or lays down half dead in a ditch. But Breath of the Wild 2 is also the one that I'm expecting to hear a lot more about.
Yeah, I was gonna say Metroid Prime 4. Like at this point, they probably have something to at least show a little bit. Like it might just be like, heavily under development or whatever. Like some disclaimer, like this is just a little bit of a tease of what to expect, kind of thing.
They want to please the fans. They would announce the trilogy finally, though. That would probably be.
Well, that
would that be supplemental to the Metroid Prime 4 would be the big, the megaton bomb they drop, and then the trilogy would be like, okay, well, since you have to wait so long for this is coming out this year or something, right?
There has to be. So was it Twilight Princess? No, it wasn't called Twilight Princess. What was the one that was on released early on the Wii U? There was
Skyward Sword.
Thank you, Skyward Sword. So Skyward Sword is like the only other mainline Wii U game, like first party Nintendo game, was one of the main ones anyways, that hasn't made its way over to Switch now, right? Like Super Mario 3D World was a huge one that came over, Treasure Tracker, like Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, they all have come over now.
Yeah, Pikmin, all of
Pikmin, them. Yeah. So I'm wondering if maybe this is also an announcement of a Switch Skyward Sword.
I would check that out again. Me personally, I liked Wind Waker a lot more, so I'd really like to see the Wind Waker HD
Wind Waker is awesome.
that was out on Wii U get released for Switch.
That was also out on Wii U, yeah.
That was locked at 1080p, like for Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly Switch could handle that. That would be that'd be really nice to play through that again.
And didn't they have a bunch of like what do you call it? Quality of life improvements for the Wii U version, like they give you the sailing. The sailing was faster.
Yeah,
because it was still good. It was still good, but it was just It was just less annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Like they made everything just more fun.
Yeah, that was a great game. I would argue that I liked it a lot more than Skyward Sword, but I played through both of them.
I don't know anyone who actually said they liked Skyward Sword.
I didn't dislike it. I just hated like using the Wiimote to fight. Like I found that very awkward and annoying because I don't want to exercise when I'm playing. Like I just want to sit down and mash buttons.
I only know one guy who played and beat it, and I want to say it was on the Wii, not even the Wii U. So yeah, not strong reviews for that one, but again, it's a first party Nintendo title, and they have the assets. Like clearly, they have the appetite to re-release things for their now blockbuster selling Switch. So that would be one that I would expect to see too.
I think that the fact that I guess this is getting ahead of ourselves, but that new Mario game that came out, the fact that did so well, that bodes well for re-releasing all the other titles that you're talking about.
Sure.
Like,
Isn't it the Zelda anniversary this year?
Yeah, doesn't it coincide with another anniversary? They're like both
20 years
the same year.
I think Metroid's the 35th. Metroid's the 35th or something.
Oh, maybe it's Metroid and Zelda, because they came out the same year or something, right?
Yeah, Metroid's 35th, and Zelda.
Zelda's 35th, yeah. February 21st. So next week.
Uh,
Man, can you imagine if they just stealth dropped Skyward Sword remake next week and also preview Breath of the Wild?
Actually, you know what? I could see that happening. I could
that
actually
is
see.
100% a thing they would do.
I could see
Good
Skyward.
prediction.
I could see Skyward Sword. Yeah, just being like, oh, by the way, this is out next week.
Yep.
Because they don't need to
100%.
advertise it. Because that would buy it will buy it.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Would that be a bigger? Would that make a bigger impact than Wind Waker? I really don't know what the popularity level is between those games.
I think
This
Wind
is
Waker
all-
would frankly probably make a bigger impact, but I do think that's the one that hasn't been re-released or hasn't been released or redone or whatever HDFI'd,
Yeah.
more recently.
But it
you're
was
right.
for Wii U. It was HD, right?
But it came out. It was like it did the Breath of the Wild thing. It
Yeah,
straddled.
it's been redone, quote unquote,
Wii U
redone
and
already
Wii U.
once. Whereas
it.
Skyward Sword's never been
I see.
re-released.
So there's
Yeah.
more of a need for it. You're saying?
Wasn't Wind Waker on the 3DS as well, or was that Phantom Hourglass? I'm thinking of.
You're
No,
thinking
you
of.
think
It was the same
Two
art
Worlds.
style, but it was Phantom Hourglass.
That's
okay,
it.
that one. It wasn't Between Two Worlds you're thinking about? What was
No,
that?
no,
Oh,
definitely not
yeah,
Between Two
that's
Worlds.
it. That's the cell shaded one, right?
Yeah.
That's
where
not
you
the
can
one I
go
was
into the
thinking of. I thought because there was one that had
paintings.
sailing. There was a 3DS
Oh,
game
yeah.
that had sailing and it had the cell shaded. I could have sworn
I
that was
don't know what
Phantom.
that is.
I could have sworn that was
No.
Phantom Hourglass.
There was like a train game,
I think you're
Like it
thinking
was-
Between Two Worlds.
the Zelda train game. That's what I'm gonna look up.
Two Worlds Sailing.
Oh, it's definitely Phantom Hourglass. Zelda Phantom Hourglass.
Spirit Tracks, Dan. How about that?
Spirit Tracks. Oh my god. Is it Phantom
That's the same
Hourglass?
art.
It's not
I don't know that
goddamn.
one.
It's not goddamn Spirit Tracks.
Phantom Hourglass.
Legend
That's
of
their
Zelda Phantom
bombshell. Is
Hourglass.
Spirit Tracks is coming out for Switch.
Can you imagine? 2007. Wii U and Nintendo DS. I do not know this game.
Yeah, Phantom Hourglass was amazing.
Really?
Very, very good.
Shit. I missed it.
And there was the other one, the Tiny Link. What the hell was that one again?
Minish Cap.
Minish Cap. That was it.
Minish
That
Cap,
was
yeah.
a pretty neat one
That was a
too.
cool one.
But yeah, so there's also Pokemon's 25th anniversary is next year. Actually, no, this year.
This year. Okay. In the first half of this year, like
25th
Zelda's anniversary and stuff?
Oh, so yeah, new Pokemon iterations that are the same engine, almost the same.
Well,
all
they've
the
already
assets,
announced.
but
They've already
yeah.
announced a new Pokemon Snap. I want to say.
Yeah, that's
So-
definitely coming out this year. There's nothing to that bloody game. If they don't release that this year, I'll be absolutely shocked.
Yeah.
They like to re-release their Pokemons like within a couple of years, right?
Yeah, Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield
Sun
came
and
out
Moon?
last year, right? Or no?
Pokemon Sun and Moon got re-released, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, they could do that with Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they just released expansions for that last year. Sword and Shield.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh yes.
That would be
right,
really
right,
milking
right,
it if they re-released.
I really think it's going to be a Zelda focused event, and I'm actually going to lock in my prediction for Skyward Sword. HDFI.
That's pretty cool. I could see that happening.
Yeah.
My prediction is Metroid Prime Trilogy. I'm pretty sure that's going to be announced.
Yeah,
And that
Metroid
would be
Prime
cool.
Trilogy and yeah, Skyward Sword. Metroid
That
Prime
would be great.
Trilogy is already like that's a for sure bet. I think at this point, I think everyone knows.
And what's your prediction, Dan? What Cyberpunk ported to Switch?
Yeah,
Is that it?
yeah.
Yeah, but
Sweet.
the
It's already
the
confirmed. I got
PS4
an
base
inside
version-
track. I got an inside track on that. I know what's coming. Actually, no, 3DS, Cyberpunk Mini. No, Cyberpunk
them.
3D, Cyberpunk 3D.
Oh man, the Minish Cap was a Game Boy Advance game. That's cool.
Was it? Holy shit!
Wow.
Donkey Kong's 40th anniversary as well.
When this year?
This year as well.
Wow.
Poor
I
Mini.
could do.
Ooh,
I could
Donkey
definitely
Kong
do a new
Country.
Donkey Kong game. Yeah.
Donkey Kong Country, like
So they could do stuff like that too, right? Like the NES or SNES emulator things that they have on the Switch. Like they're constantly giving stuff away with that Switch Online thing.
oh shit, yeah, they could just
Maybe you'll see
release.
some stuff come out for that, or like they did with the what was that? It was a flop. I never even played it. The Mario. It was like the the battle royale Mario.
Mario 35.
Mario 35, right, for the anniversary. Like maybe they'll come out with a special limited
I-
time game for Zelda.
Oh,
I
that would
never-
be amazing if it was like
Oh,
the first Zelda, but you're like it's a bunch of you guys on the map,
or it's
Yeah.
like a speed run style,
like
like
a
Yeah,
battle
something like
royale.
that.
Yeah,
or something.
yeah,
Like, I mean,
Where
that
like
would be
exposes
cool.
in and shit, just like an actual battle royale, but it's like
yeah.
8-bit graphics. Man, I'd play the fuck out of that.
Tetris 99 though was also a battle royale style thing, but
Tetris
it was
99
like
was
Tetris,
awesome, yeah.
right? So
Mhm.
with whatever the situation is, whereas Mario was you actually ran the levels, like Link, yeah, maybe that where you're all on the same map or something, and it's like Fortnite but with Link. I could see them. I could definitely see them releasing something like that for Nintendo Online for the year.
That'd be very cool.
You know what I would like to see? Is a new F-Zero.
It's been a while, huh?
It's not gonna happen.
It's been a long, long time.
It's been a very long time.
It's been way too long. And like that whole genre now is like
Yeah.
is almost taken over by there's so much else out there.
Like
Just in
what?
terms of racing.
Wipeout?
Well, they like the Switch alone has a bunch. I actually downloaded a couple. I think it's called I want to say Redout or something like that. But there's a few F-Zero clones that are like legitimately good. And like I
Did
just
you ever
don't
play F-Zero for a Nintendo 64?
No, but I played it on the GameCube and it was incredible. F-Zero GX on the GameCube. The N64 one, did it come out on N64?
I was messing around with old school games and I was checking out Nintendo 64 games in 4K and loaded
Oh,
up that one.
F-Zero X. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so smooth, like 60 frames per second, 4K. I was like, this is still a piece of shit game, but like,
Yeah, it was
it's kind of
I
the
don't
music was
remember
cool.
being-
It was like kind of like it was like better versions of the original music. Well,
okay.
quality or whatever.
Yeah, F-Zero GX was like incredible for its time. Like it was like this was going back 2003. Like it was I remember them saying it was 60 frames per second. Like this is back in 2003. This was like a thing they were touting. It was locked at 60 frames per second because it's a racing game and it's super
That's
fast
pretty
and all
cool.
this. Like
Yeah.
they didn't talk about resolution because no one even knew what the hell 480p or 720p was back then.
Yeah, do you
knew I
remember
had
when
a
we didn't talk
720p
about
TV.
resolution?
No,
No one talked
I've
about
talked about
resolution.
resolution for a long time.
Only PC gamers.
Only on
That's
PC.
it. Yeah,
only
I
on
was
PC.
gonna say
1280 by 1024, baby.
Yeah.
On my
Yeah, what was it before
17-inch
VGA?
ViewSonic.
SVGA.
SVGA.
There's a
EVGA.
C one. What was the C one? I can't remember what that one was.
CGA. I think.
Yeah, that's it.
CGA? I don't know CGA.
Yeah, SVGA. I remember that. That was like the bee's knees. The bee's knees. Yeah, there's not really a whole hell of a lot going on, except for Mike might tune out for a second, but Richard and I have been playing Valheim.
For the Norse god. Don't you look down, Mike. You buy this game.
Mike,
buy
this game is I don't know what to say.
Mike, I'm going to talk directly to you about why Valheim is one of the great modern games of our era. First,
Yeah, give me the
The fourth
elevator
one.
pitch.
the pitch. I'll give you the elevator pitch. It's an extremely polished early access game that has probably the biggest map in a video game I think I've ever seen. That is procedurally generated, so constantly something different or new, and has depth of systems that is pretty. I don't know. I don't want to say unparalleled, but it's one of the more depthful set of systems around skills and crafting that I think I've seen implemented for a game like this that's built around crafting and exploration.
It's
I bet if you clock that, that was fully 30 seconds. By the way,
it's pretty fucking awesome. That's my elevator pitch. It's pretty fucking.
it's really good, and it's
Visuals are not impressing me very much.
No,
I'm just
so
looking at the-
okay,
holy
so that's
crap.
when I watched the first like trailer or whatever you want to call it, just overall video for the game. I was like, okay, I'm not really too impressed. And then I kind of made my way over to Steam and read the reviews, and it's like overwhelmingly positive, and it sold 1 million copies in a week. I'm like, okay, what the hell's going on? There must be something about this. And then like every third story from every video game website was talking about the game and how insanely good it is. I'm like, fine, okay, I'll suck it up. It's $20, so I was like, what do I have to lose? I'll play it for one night. If I like it, then I'll keep playing it. And I think Santino said he's clocked 30 hours in it. The game's been out for 2 weeks.
Jesus.
Well, he clocked 30 hours since
Oh,
Friday.
on the weekend. On the weekend, he clocked
we
30
bought
hours.
it, right? So
Yeah.
in 4 days.
Is this are these placeholder graphics, or is this actually what the game's gonna look like when it's released?
So it's kind of voxely. Yeah, it's pixel or voxely, whatever it is. But the interesting thing
Oh, this is a Dreams game. I see. That makes sense.
It's made in PlayStation Dreams. No,
Yeah.
but it's honestly, it's the weirdest. It's seriously one of the weirdest games I've ever played in terms of visuals. Because like, there'll be sometimes I'm walking around, I'm like, holy shit, that looks incredible. Like the lighting and the shadows
the
and
lighting.
and the particle effects and like the grass flame. It looks absolutely incredible. And then if you just want to zoom in and stare at your character, you're like, what the fuck? This looks like vanilla WoW back when it launched. Actually,
Yeah.
it looks worse than vanilla WoW back when it launched.
It
Yeah,
does
don't-
look worse than.
But then
WoW,
you
for
scroll
sure.
around,
Yeah.
and look at the sunset. You're like, holy shit, that's incredible. It's the
So,
most bizarre mismatch.
This is 100% a game that is a candidate for RTX because of whatever the lighting system it is that they use. Like they're gonna
Yeah.
do some crazy stuff if they ever decide to implement RTX. It's the lighting system. I don't know what they did and why they did it or why they chose to focus their resources on that. They must have had some guy on the team who was just like, I like lighting. And they just are like, okay, go to town. And meanwhile, their arts guy is like, I usually do coding, but I guess I'll do your art. And
I
then,
guess
like,
I'll
he
make the
just
characters.
did the rest of the art. Meanwhile, the lighting guy is just like, this is all going to look gorgeous in this light. And it looks like, muddy kind of pixels when you get up close. But from far away, like when the pixels are less pixelated,
So if you
and the-
squint just a little bit,
a little bit, and if the draw distance, or if you wear glasses like me, the draw distance is far enough that you really are getting those kind of picturesque moments, but while running through a forest looking at the blockiest like caves and like things to chop down and mine.
It's so
It's super
weird.
weird.
None
and I
of
love it.
none of it's jarring at all though either.
No,
Like everything
no.
works together. Like
it all ties, yeah.
you'll be walking through the forest like picking up wood or whatever, and then through the trees you'll be like, what the hell is that? And it's a giant that's about 30 feet tall. It's like stomping towards you, chucking rocks at your head.
Mm-hmm.
And
Or
then you
swinging a tree.
actually see the thing's face, and you're like, that is the worst like face I've ever seen on a troll. But at the same time, you're like, oh shit, he's actually coming to kill me, and it's like you forget instantly that it looks
Yeah.
bad, and
I mean,
you get into it immediately. It's so good.
It's very clear they don't have anybody on art. Like
the
they have somebody-
lighting's good.
Yeah,
they do not have any design to speak of though. That's the problem. Like it's
they
like
have they have no design. They have incredible systems design. They have incredible like process design and systems design, I guess would be the way to frame it. But yeah, in terms of graphic design, no.
yeah, they need a really good concept artist, and then they
Yeah.
can like take it up to the next level. So how long are they predicting they're going to be in this early access for?
I actually haven't even read up on that. The game's only been available for 2 weeks to buy, and they've
Yeah,
sold.
please-
They said they
please
sold
hold.
2 million copies in 2 weeks.
Now, at this point, since it's so popular, I'm
Wow.
wondering if they improve the models. Like, would people be pissed off because like that's part of the charm or some crap?
It's very possible.
If anything, they should just add extra options for things. Because right now, like if you craft, say like certain armor or whatever, and you put it on, it changes your appearance. Like it's that type of thing. And there's it's really cool
Like
how
what they
they
did back in Xanadu.
exactly.
So they say there'll be an access.
It's a brand new
early
feature to
access-
games.
Sorry, there'll be an early access for at least a year, but depending on player feedback and the amount of content we choose to put into the final game, it may take longer.
That's fine.
So, what are they planning to add? More biomes? So that they do have like a biome system, right? We're in like a tree, like a tree biome. I don't know what to call that, but
Yeah, there's swamps, there's meadows, there's
yeah.
all sorts of
new
different-
enemies, new bosses, new materials to find. Want to expand the crafting system. So like again, I cannot be more clear than this. This game could release, and people would buy it and they'd be like, "That's a full game. Now I have a full game. Thank you."
For 20
Like,
bucks too. I'm like, I don't get it. How is it early access? Like
yeah,
everything works perfectly.
yeah. Even the dedicated. So that's the other key point about this. For anybody else listening to this, I don't know why you would, but the dedicated server that we have set up is the other super key selling feature for us on this game. So we have a constant instance of our world that people are able to log into from our group of friends.
Yep.
And I'll use my experience as an illustrative example. I bought this thing on Friday night. I logged in for a couple hours with everybody. We figured out, like, literally from walking out of your cave as a Neanderthal, like, oh, I make stone axe, I cut down tree, like that was about as far as we got. I log out for 3 days and I come back on last night. Santino, who's clocked 30 hours, they've literally built a base that is nicer than my house, with like hearths and like indoor campfire systems that are venting and exhausting smoke out of the system, and like full smelting and crafting systems. Like, I was floored by what they had built on this server.
the
And
the deer trophies on the walls and
yeah,
they
just
killed
the
they killed one of those
decorations, like,
they killed one of those giants and like its head was just on the wall.
it was
And
a
it was
trophy up on the wall.
amazing. I was like, holy
and,
shit.
and we went from literally, like, the first hour of the game, I kid you not, what we did was we spawned in, we went running in one direction looking for water and like a kind of a clearing to build our base on. As soon as we found the right spot, we set down a little campfire and a bed, and a troll appeared, and we spent the next hour kiting it around the map trying to hit it with a fucking stick, while it slammed us into the ground and sent us back to the respawn point. That was my first hour with this game, and then I played another hour, and then I came back and played 2 more hours last night, and I plan to play like another hour or two tonight. Like, it's it's really just well done in its systems and gameplay loop.
There's already like a dozen stories I could tell about just shit that's happened in the game already, and I've clocked maybe 8 hours total, maybe. And like, there's so many just hilarious fucking moments that have happened. Even just Santino and I in the boat, like that shit alone has been so goddamn funny.
We should have had him on as a guest.
Should have.
Santino.
He's playing right now. That's the problem.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, it's too addictive. But yeah, that's Valheim. Like, it's definitely worth a gander.
Okay, so you're saying I should prioritize that over Gears 5, Bowser's Fury.
No, just work
the
it in,
second
work it
Ori
into your
game.
work it into your rotation.
Okay. So I should find a place for that game versus these other games that I know are amazing. Okay.
Not versus
All right.
those others, just
Well, no, I can only play one game at a time is what I'm saying. You know?
Well, can you not maintain a single player game and a multiplayer game?
there you go.
Sure, but I have a pretty addictive personality, so that's the reason why I haven't reactivated WoW.
So what if I told you Valheim could be both your single player game and your multiplayer game? Since you could log in on the server single player and just solo some content while we're not around. And then when we log in, you're also there. And it's a social experience.
It's the same as WoW as well. Like, you can do that too.
Yeah, I know.
Correct.
I played WoW by myself.
But no
so
monthly
much.
subscription fee, just a one-time $20 fee. And Santino hosts our server for free, so we're good.
I'll watch some. You know what? When I eat breakfast tomorrow, I'll watch some videos of people playing it, and that'll be like the real way to see like if it's all right or not.
I'll
see it in action.
I'll stream it tonight, Mike, if you want to watch.
Yeah, if you want to hang out in the chat, like, I'm sure we'll hang out in here. And,
Yeah, I'll stream it. You can just watch like us play, because that's gonna be probably more entertaining than watching some douchebag. Well, some other douchebag playing it.
Are you being disparaging of other Twitch channels, Daniel?
I mean,
I included myself in that discrimination.
if you want to watch a VOD, one last one on this one. I watched Cohh. C-O-H-H. I'm sure you know.
I think I've heard of that guy.
Yes, I have. Yeah,
he's Canadian. So yeah, go check him out. It was his stream on the Friday that got me to buy it. So whatever date that was, the 12th.
12th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really good. It had me laughing.
I'm gonna refill my beer while I ponder that.
Okay, I already did that, and I didn't tell everybody I did that.
I just
That's good. That's good radio.
I kind of stealthily poured my beer right here. You see my arm right here? Woo, what's
I
this?
do.
What's this
Yeah.
arm doing? I wonder what that arm's doing. It's
I
pouring
forgot
a,
this was also a video podcast, so anybody who's
it's pouring a
watching the
beer.
video,
I'm
they
having
saw
this
me.
one. I
Ooh,
haven't had this before.
99, Wayne Gretzky.
It's a pale ale. I was like crisp
Oh.
and fruit forward. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
Not he. I'm sure he has nothing to do with any of this, but like,
Nope.
they keep coming out with new ones. I'm like, there was a lager. I'm like,
Oh, that's cool.
oh great, a lager. Who cares? Then there was a session ale. I was like, okay, it was fine. Nothing wrong with it. Now there's a pale ale. I'm like, okay, now we're getting close to it. Give it another few months. He'll actually have like a good IPA.
All right, Mike, you're back. Tell us about Ori and the Blind Forest. Oh, no one saw that twist coming.
That's the first one.
What a twist!
Mike's
Yeah,
Mike's just playing it now.
That's fine.
I've got a
I didn't say there was anything wrong with it.
divine double. I'm keeping with the
Aw,
nickel
baby.
vibe.
Yeah.
Do it up.
I ordered 6 more of those. How did you fit a divine double in that pint glass? Did it fill all the way up?
He poured 2 of them in there.
It's a 20-ounce glass.
Oh,
It's the little mini.
Okay.
Oh wait, 20 ounce. That's a pint.
Yeah, it didn't fill all the way up. This is as good as it gets with a tiny little can like that, right?
Okay. Sorry. It looked more full. Anyway, continue. I digress.
Yeah. What's the subject? What are we on?
Ori and the Blind Forest, my friend. You.
Oh yeah, so that was like Dan told me that like what a great game that was. So I finally decided to dig in and play it. The thing that I heard first about this from like just media outlets is how heartbreaking the first 10 minutes of the game was, and they were not fucking around. Jesus Christ, like this story like had me in tears like at the end of the game. I was just like just really feeling it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you really care about these characters, and they don't even really talk, right?
Nope.
No, they just emote.
Yeah.
But it's just so like I love animals, and like you know, they project that kind of like innocence or whatever, and like they're all like these made up creatures, but they're basically like nature.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's super touching, and I think it's a story about nature, and then it makes you question like the entire thing. Like towards the end of the game, there's like this twist, and you're like, oh my god, like I know nothing. So yeah, it was like fantastic, and the gameplay loop so addictive. Like it's a typical like Metroidvania or whatever, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
But man, it was just I played it in 4K, locked 60 FPS on my PC, and it was gorgeous. And I'm pretty stoked for the second one now, if it can come close to how good the first one was.
I think it's better.
Yeah.
Wow,
The
okay.
second, the story in the second one. I won't ruin anything, obviously, but like the story is just insanely good. It's like
It's a tall order, but man,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna play that very soon. Like I'm really excited for that.
I think it's good that you take a break, but
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
it's
Yeah.
heavy, right? Like
The
it
gameplay
just
is very
got me really
similar.
emotional.
yeah, also that. But the gameplay is very similar too. Like you don't want to burn out necessarily on the gameplay partway through that game because
Oh, can we
the-
talk about the difficulty level? Like, did you play it on normal?
I played it on
I played
as
on-
low a difficulty as you can play it on.
Oh, that might have made it more enjoyable actually, because like I played it on normal. I didn't play it on hard, but dude, on fucking normal, I died. I think it showed my count over 370 times, 375 or something like that. I had that many deaths in 11 hours. So if you divide that, that's a fuck ton of deaths per minute. You know, like,
Yeah, you're not wrong.
the save system in the first one. Refresh
not
my
good.
memory, Mike. It's like you have to have the like your mana, basically, whatever it's called.
yeah, you have
And,
to
like,
have
you
one of
have to
those
have- you have to have-
spirit orbs. I think it is.
Yeah, and like each save you create. It was kind of a cool idea because you can save literally anywhere you want, but you have to have your spirit orbs like
Yeah.
full, or like it takes 2 of them or whatever.
No,
it's
it
the case.
takes one,
takes
and then you
one?
can
Yeah.
upgrade it so it only takes half. But
Yeah, but like you.
But I got burned because like I was saving a lot, and then there was doors that you need to open
Yeah, exactly.
using those things, and it took me forever to get back there and finally open that door. So I
And
didn't
that-
save as much as I could.
And that, I'm not gonna lie, that is why I stopped playing the first game, was because of that.
It was really
I
bad.
completely fucked
It was really
myself.
bad.
I fucked myself badly, and I swear to God, I got to a place. I'm sure there was a way I could have figured it out, but it felt like I broke the game. Like I felt like I saved it and then went. The only way I could go was through a door that I didn't have enough spirit orbs for, and there was nowhere else for me to get more. I was like, "Is this it? Am I done in this game? Like I can't play anymore." And I was like I was at least more than halfway through the game at that point. I was like, "I'm not starting again." Like, and it wasn't the type of game where I had multiple saves because it's not Skyrim or Fallout where I know
You can't
things are
even
gonna
do
break.
that. I don't think.
You might yeah, you know what? You might not even be able to have multiple save files or whatever. So I think that's now I'm remembering why I stopped playing the first one. Anyways, the second one where I was getting at was the second one does not have that save system
No,
at all. It's
not even close.
much more straightforward and just intuitive. It's basically like a Castlevania save system. Like
Yeah, you don't even think about saving.
and
to be honest.
they're perfectly placed in the second game.
How's
You're
the music
ne-
in the second game
Oh,
versus
it's
the first one?
phenomenal. Absolutely
Well, I mean, the
incredible.
first one
'Cause-
had really good music too, but I
Couldn't believe
Oh my
the
God.
music.
The
I
second one's
still,
incredible.
I think I still, I actually for at least a week or whatever after playing it, I was listening to the soundtrack for it.
Yeah,
It's
same
just
here.
it's so moving. It's like so
Oh,
powerful.
it's
And
incredible.
it's a full orchestra they had for the first one. Hopefully it was the same for the second
Same.
one.
Same.
It
for the
is,
second one,
yeah. And the second one, the one thing I did notice about the second one was the background is a lot more alive.
I'm gonna go play the second
Uh,
one again.
I'm
That's
I'm
what
actually
percent.
tempted to now because it got a full like Series X refresh.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's like
got, like,
4K
HDR,
60, yeah, 4K 60 HDR,
Okay,
everything.
yeah. That's gonna be gorgeous.
Oh.
I'm gonna
Oh, it's
leave
100
that as like
It's 120 frames
something
per
to look
second
forward
too.
to.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you were to play this, actually, would you be able to play it at 120 on PC Game Pass? I'm not sure if they did that.
Well, Mike can play it at whatever his TV supports, right, Mike?
Depends on if the game supports it though.
Depends
Like,
on if the PC
the
version.
first Ori was 60.
really?
I couldn't go higher than 60.
Oh, the game has to support it, but the Series X version of the game you can
Well,
play
that's
at
what I'm saying.
120.
I
So
don't know if
I
the-
can only assume the PC one has the same.
Sometimes they screw up the PC port though.
Yeah.
Like
That's true.
like for instance, like
But
the
the-
first Ori has HDR on Xbox. But
Yeah.
you can't do HDR on PC.
That is weird.
It's weird.
Same
I
with
guess it
Control.
depends
I
on
didn't
what it
have
was
any,
programmed
HDR
for.
and Control.
Oh, in the Game Pass version. Yeah.
Like no, in any version. It's just
What?
they mess up HDR on PC for some reason. They just can't get their shit together for
Oh, shit.
HDR on PC. It's very
That is
disappointing.
really weird.
Anyways, but that's a negative note. What a fucking awesome game.
Oh.
Holy shit.
Just one
Like-
side note, since we said Control. So
Mhm.
we said Valheim has sold 2 million copies at $20 a copy in 2 weeks. Control also announced that they sold 2 million copies recently. In
Control's amazing.
like a year and a
Control's-
half.
Control's
I know.
so good, man.
I know it's really good, but
I
It's-
need
it's-
to.
with the scale of sales, like
Oh, I know.
Well, it was like IGN's game of the year
It was,
last
yeah.
year, right?
I'm still shocked that not more people played Control. It was like. Do you think? I know this sounds really bad, but do you think it's because you play as a chick?
No, because Horizon Zero Dawn did amazingly,
I don't know.
and Tomb Raider does really well all the time.
But
too.
keep in mind though, Horizon Zero Dawn had mechanical dinosaurs in it.
Yeah, but nobody disliked the main
And
character.
I'm not
They
trying to
loved
be
it.
like an
I
ass.
didn't
I'm
do
just
that.
being
They-
honest.
For Control, it had to do with the marketing. I had zero fucking clue.
Actually, you know what? You're right. There was no
That
marketing.
was fucking
Also, let's be
terrible.
honest. Control is like got a vibe that's not for everybody.
No,
Like it's so
like
fucking
Twin Peaks,
like David
Twin
Lynch.
Peaks
Like,
style.
it's
Yeah.
it's very out there. Yeah, you're
that
right.
is not that is not a mass marketing kind of like. It's not even their marketing. How do you market that fucking game? It's not for everybody
how do you
else, man.
Tell everybody what that game is about without giving away what that game is.
It's
about,
not for the
right?
normies. Ree.
I mean, but you're also not wrong. Like it is not a mainstream game, even though it came from a publisher that
Remember Max Payne? Remember
has
Alan
made
Wake?
mainstream games. I know.
Like, I like
If I was
Max
gonna market
Payne,
that
what
game,
the
I would have
hell?
been heavily leaning on Alan Wake and Max Payne. Like that's
Well,
that's
they-
the only way that you
They
market that
literally
game.
released a DLC about Max Payne, right? So
Or
like
Alan Wake, yeah, it
Or
was
Alan
really
Wake's
cool.
over, yeah.
It was really cool that DLC.
God
it was
damn it, I
scary.
loved Alan
It
Wake.
was
I
pretty
loved
freaky.
Alan Wake, man. It was such a good. Such a good game. Anyway, that.
Speaking of scary, I've been playing Hades, and I finally beat the first boss.
Nice.
I'm sorry, the first boss.
The first boss, yes, Megara. I was lamenting to a buddy of mine who picked it up and had played over the Christmas break-ish type period that I was like, oh man, I haven't put a ton of time into this game, and also I suck at this game. It's like, it's all right, man. It's the kind of game that's hard when you start, and then you got to put the time in, and you get better at it. I'm like, all right, so I booted it back up. I'm like, fine, I died. I'm doing better.
Yeah, wait a minute, I can beat her this time.
I got this so I unlocked the shield, and I was just captaining America my way through this fucking game all the way. Like,
were you chucking? Can you throw it? I have no idea.
But even up to the next boss, and I made it past that boss with the shield. And I was just like, okay, now I'm digging it. Like I had the right boons, I had the right stuff. I was really into the gameplay. So it clicked. It absolutely clicked for me in that one run.
That's
and now
amazing.
I'm stoked to go back in and keep playing more.
Oh damn it, that game's so good. I need to crank down the settings a little bit on my PC. Because the game it looks so incredible and it's so beautiful, and it was totally fine up until I got to a certain level and things just started chugging. I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
Really?
this is probably what the game's really like now. It started to get really serious, and there was 30 guys on screen all doing effects, and I was doing this and that, and it just started check. Like, oh shit, okay, I gotta really turn this down.
I didn't think
I was playing
that game would be that intensive. That's crazy.
It's when there's so much stuff happening. It's not an intensive game by any means, but it's still when there's that much happening. The animations are incredibly fluid, and the effects are really good. And it's
all very timing based too, right? You have to have it clicking at whatever the right frame.
And that's what it is. That's what it is. I could forgive that if it was I don't know, almost any other game. Right. But it relies on you instant feedback from every movement that you do. And as soon as I stopped getting that, I was like, okay, I can't keep playing this now. I either need to turn everything down or, convince the wife to let me get a 3080 or 3060 Ti or something.
That's going to be a hard sell.
But I needed to play Hades. Yeah, that'll be a hard sell.
I'm lining up for one mentally this summer. I think it's going to be
mentally. Yeah, I know. That's pretty sad when the 4000 series cards are being talked about already.
Are they really?
Did you guys hear that they're re-releasing their older video cards because they can't produce any of the new ones?
You believe that? I did hear that. That's unreal.
Yeah, you can get was it 1050s pretty soon?
Yeah,
2060s, I believe, right?
It's for the miners, man. I'm telling you right now. It's for the Bitcoin miners.
Well, Bitcoin.
They're part of the reason why we
they're actually I would say the reason we can't get the new cards.
Probably the majority. Yeah, the PC gamers would probably be dwarfed by the amount of miners.
I almost wish they could lock out somehow, mechanically lock out the ability to mine Bitcoin from these friggin' video cards. I'm like,
well, they don't want to make less sales, right?
Well, Nvidia doesn't give a shit. They're like,
doesn't behoove them.
We sold all of them. Who cares?
Yeah.
I feel like maybe my cat just went behind my TV. Let me just check 1 second.
Okay.
That's not a good spot for him.
The thing is, it's gonna bite them in the ass later on, when they.
He's super sus, but it wasn't him. He was not the imposter.
He's wearing the Viking hat this time, not the ninja mask. Yeah, it's.
Seriously though, Nvidia's they're starting to piss me off now. And I know it's not their fault.
It's not even close to their fault. It's not even I don't even think they're releasing any more Founders editions, right? It's you got to be blaming the MSIs and the the EVGAs and stuff like that. It's their stuff now that they're trying to keep up with. So I actually read an article. I can't remember when it was, this weekend maybe, about I think it's silicone chips, right? So there's literally. Oh, was it somebody that posted in our chat about that?
I think John probably did.
It was John. All right, yeah. So John posted about that, and I read through the article. It was like not only are like video game and like console stuff suffering, but like even automakers who are at the bottom
Yeah.
end of the totem pole in terms of how they would use these chips and what they need them to control. Oh, hi, kitty. Oh, meow, meow. Oh, he's cute.
It's
Oh, I
Dexter.
like his coloring.
It's Dexter.
He just turned
Dexter.
13 on Valentine's Day.
Aw, I like him. I Dexter.
He was meowing at me. I had to pick him up. I felt bad.
Yeah, of course.
He's very soft as well. He looks soft and he is soft.
Anyway, suffice it to say, like,
Yeah, he's as soft as he looks. Not Mike, Dexter.
well, hey, why not? Why not both? Porque no los dos.
Mike-
I guess the point is like it's
Yeah.
not just the electronics or technology manufacturers. It's people who just
it's affecting
generally
everybody,
need
yeah.
to use it. It's affecting a lot of people. So yeah, it's a bummer, and it's one of those things where I think in that same article they talked about like some people are petitioning the states, like the presidential administration, to be like, oh, I think we should incentivize or subsidize rather the creation of these chips so that like we continue to increase the supply during high demand and low supply, but then also B, we kind of insulate ourselves a little bit from foreign providers and influences on their supply. I think the same thing happened with a Japan earthquake. I think in that article it was talking about like 2011 or something like that.
Yeah, it was
And-
Taiwan.
Was it Taiwan? Okay. Was it
I
Typhoon
remember-
or whatever in Taiwan?
Yeah, it was Taiwan, and I remember Asus or Asus. I still call them Asus,
Oh.
but they had that major
prices,
issue.
hard drive prices.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like
And it
all their
happened for, like,
hardware
a year
skyrocketed.
after that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
You're
same
pretty
principle.
quiet, Nick. Is there any way you can turn yourself up a bit?
Yeah, get louder, Nick.
Get loud. Play it loud.
Yeah, play it loud, Nick. We gotta see that glorious hair of yours, Nick.
And then
I'm very
and then you
envious.
do some
Rare.
headbanging. Anyway, all that to say, I want a 3080 or something.
Oh
There it is.
shit!
Look at that chair. Oh, look at the chair go. That
Oh, look at
pleathery
that,
goodness.
man! You're like a
Oh,
professional streamer now. Holy
oh, it's
shit!
good, yeah, it's
Yeah, where's your
nice.
green screen, Nick? You need to start the
Yeah.
and your
Yeah, let's up
your
the
Elgato
production
your
value
what is
here.
it? Your Elgato stream deck.
Your
or
stream
whatever
deck.
that was. Yeah.
No.
Nope.
Are you
Okay.
is your sponsor Raid Shadow Legends, Nick?
You and everybody else?
Like every single streamer.
Fucking ridiculous.
That Snoopy
So-
thing was crazy. I loved it.
Oh Jesus Christ, that was nuts. So Mike and I played Bowser's Fury.
Oh,
Oh, did we not talk
man.
about that yet?
We didn't actually talk about this yet. So it's Super Mario 3D Land, right? That's the full name of the main game.
Super Mario 3D
The
World.
The
3D Land is a
It's
3DS.
the Game Boy.
The 3DS version is 3D Land, I think. Anyways, so yeah,
The lands are on the like the handhelds, and the worlds are on the console.
yeah,
That's all
because
it
I just remember playing 3D Land on 3DS, and it was phenomenal. And I think it came out like day and date with World for the Wii U originally. Anyways,
And you didn't play it? Did you play it for Wii U? Because you had a Wii
I did,
U. You
I
and I
did.
both had them at the same
it was
time,
one
right?
of the only
Yeah.
games I ever bought for my Wii U. Was
It's super
Mario.
good.
It was good. It was very good. But yeah, so Mike and I basically just played Bowser's Fury on the weekend, and it's really really good. It's funny because it's small, but there's a lot to do in it, and it's kind of interesting because it's all in like, what would you call it, Mike? Like one overworld map. Like it's all on the same map. Like the entire game is
you
on
can
one
see
map.
across the whole thing, but the thing is, like, it unlocks bit by bit, so they keep on expanding the area, but it's not like you can't go back to where you were originally. So it's like it's an open world Mario game, which is ridiculous.
That's
And it's
cool.
it's huge. It's quite big. It's not like Witcher 3 big or anything, but it's for a Mario
No.
game. For a Mario game, it's like, I don't know. It's hard to even explain. Like, take like the first world in Mario 64. Like, everyone knows the first level in Mario 64. Multiply that by like maybe 10, and like that's
Yeah,
the,
that
that's the
sounds about
size.
right.
That's the size of the whole world. But the thing is, in each one of those worlds, there's a whole bunch of different things to do.
Yeah, different
and
looks, like there's different themes going on for each area.
yeah,
It's like you had Mario World, but it's all you can go anywhere. Well, it is gated actually, but like towards the end of the game, you could just go anywhere and keep going back to the first area or go to the snow level or whatever. Like it's
Cool.
but
crazy.
the whole shtick with the game is Bowser's gone nuts, and he's like just fucking gigantic, and he's like super evil Bowser, and he's
yeah. And poor Bowser Jr.
oh
He's
yeah,
been
poor
abused really badly, and like Mario's taking him in, and
poor
he's he's had some heart to hearts with him. He's trying to rehabilitate poor Bowser Jr. because he's suffered a lot of abuse.
oh
from
yeah,
this,
physical,
horrific
sexual.
Fury
mental.
Bowser.
Yes, from Fury Bowser. He so yeah, big old black Bowser. Because he's covered in ooze or oil or whatever the hell it is, goop.
I think it's symbolic for him hitting the bottle. Really, like I'm pretty sure that's what this game's about.
pretty sure Miyamoto. That's what he wanted. That's what he wanted
Yeah.
people to think of. Yeah. So like the cool thing is when big old crazy Bowser comes out, he comes out like every.
When he gets drunk, it's, he got his paycheck finally.
Wow. Wow.
What was
He's
it like?
like
Was it
busting the Pabst Blue Ribbon?
You're ruining my childhood, just so we're all clear.
Just so you're aware.
So we're all on the same page here.
Good lord. So it was like what, every 10-15 minutes or something like that. He would just like
Don't wake Daddy.
appear. He would just appear, and then he'd start
that
firing goddamn fireballs down at you, like, and raising platforms up and everything when he came out.
Okay.
But it was kind of cool because he would shoot down fireballs and he'd raise up platforms. But I'm like, oh, wait a minute, now I can get up to that place that I couldn't get to before because he's just done that. So like you could actually unlock or like finish certain missions because he was out being insane and like wrecking the ground and like just raising up things around him.
There's certain like Bowser bricks that you can't break yourself, so you have to like lure him to throw fireballs. Or
Yeah.
I think it's like he's got a giant laser that he can shoot out of his mouth.
He's basically Godzilla, to be honest. It's just
He's very Godzilla.
yeah.
So
And-
he's the only one that can break those bricks, and there's usually something really good behind them that you need to get if you want to 100% the game.
Wow.
And then one of the the thing I think everyone's seen is like when you remember how you can turn into a cat in like the
Yes.
3D world game.
That was the best part.
There's like it's called the Giga Bell.
Super Cyan.
It's basically Super Saiyan Mario.
Okay.
And you grow as big as crazy Bowser, like crazy Fury Bowser. You grow as big as him, so like the size of the Statue of Liberty, basically, and like you get to fight him as the same size as each other.
Okay, so I'm buying this game now.
Those
that's
fights though,
happened.
those fights are really really fun.
That sounds awesome.
I didn't think they were gonna be that great, but they're actually the fights. Mike was like almost saying like, Jesus, this is like almost like Dark Souls fucking Mario.
Yeah.
It's not nearly that hard, but it's like it was definitely challenging. It was like, shit, this is actually, you got to pay attention and know what you're doing. It's like you can't just fire fireballs at him.
Like I thought you could go fist to fist with him. Like I thought you could pummel him. And
It was like,
that does
oh
nothing.
no, I cannot do that.
no.
Yeah, he's got like some really interesting patterns, and it's awesome. It's a lot of fun.
Cool.
But yeah, so what I've heard from people is like the Bowser's Fury like portion of the game, which is just an add-on. It's just like an additional bit to 3D World, right? It's like a whole separate thing. It's like maybe 5-6 hours long, but like it's so much fun the whole way through. The one thing that sucked was the 2-player mode, because Mike and I tried the 2-player mode, and I was like, oh, I think I actually play as like Bowser Jr. in the 2-player mode. This should be fun. It's not fun. It's basically
Little sister mode.
it's literally like not little sister, baby sister mode. It's like whatever you do doesn't matter. So here's a controller. Have fun, little 2-year-old who doesn't know what the hell you're doing.
I mean, that
So
works for my family. I don't know about your family.
Well, that's the thing. It could work for people, right? And I see why
Yeah.
they added it. But when Mike and I were playing, I'm like, I won't toot my own horn, but I have played games before.
Oh.
Like I've played 1 or 2 video games before, so I know what I'm doing. Yeah, it was not a good 2-player mode.
That's a bummer.
But the
Well,
package
especially
as a whole, though, since it comes with 3D World,
Yeah,
that is an
Yeah.
amazing multiplayer game. Like
Yes.
even up to 4 players at the same time.
That's how we used
So-
to play it, yeah.
that's
Yeah,
what I was gonna
dude,
say. Like the main game's 4 players. Who gives a shit if Bowser's Fury
This
is like
is the
that single
first
player game?
Nintendo game that's actually probably worth $80 in a long time. Like
Yeah.
it's friggin' so much content.
Oh, Bowser's
And-
Fury is really good, man. I had a blast.
Yeah, and that's like the add-on. Like the
Yeah,
base game
it's like
was
here's
like
a little
friggin' amazing, too.
bonus. Here's a little bonus. I'm like, whoa, what the hell? This is
So
like
how many cans of or how many sodas
of
and
popcorn?
popcorns are we gonna give that game?
How many sodas out of popcorns?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Mike and I are big on cinema at the cinema fans, and no one is gonna know what the hell we're talking about.
Not a clue. I'm gonna give it
Yeah,
6
see.
Cokes out of 17 buttered popcorns.
Nice.
That sounds good.
I would throw in like 2 Butterfingers with that as well.
I threw in a little Dragon Ball Z tchotchke, a little keychain just a little bonus. Yeah, I don't. Since we've already been chatting for like an hour, I think we're just gonna cut it off here. Thanks for showing up, Nick. What is it? 2 minutes before we stop.
You're not gonna do the 20 questions? We got 3 people.
No,
man.
we only had you and Richard. I didn't.
Oh, you didn't come up with a game?
I did not
Nick, you
think
totally
that far
first
ahead.
framed, or what happened here? Are
Holy
you just
shit! I
John?
couldn't
You're
tell.
just
I
John.
couldn't tell.
John.
That was
Well done.
amazing.
Your eyes
Well, so was
barely
yours in
moved a
in
second
clown
ago
college. He's
before
learned how to.
you- Yeah. Here he goes.
That was a Zert.
Jesus
Jesus,
Christ.
Nick, what
That
the
was
hell,
Zert.
dude?
Oh,
That's
he was
really
Zert.
good.
How you doing, man?
Like,
Oh.
I actually can't tell if he's frozen or not. And on that note, we'll be back next week for an actual full episode with some video game 20 questions goodness, because I know Nick, that's the only reason he shows up, which is fine. It's fun. You know what, Richard? Do you want to do it next week so I can play?
I will happily provide you with a video game for which to guess within 20 questions.
I love playing. I love doing it, but I also love playing it.
I have a really good video game that I'm going to use,
Wow, you're
which I've been thinking of for a while now.
Jesus Christ, that's really far ahead. I like that.
Yeah,
Okay,
Valheim.
well, Valheim. Yeah. Damn it, you got it. How did you guess? And on that note, see you next week.
When was it released? 2021.
20